Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm in a different truck because I am on a rescue mission, unfortunately. Thank you all so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Today's a weird day, I guess. It finally happened. I finally had a truck break down while trying to either go to or come from the racetrack. Can't remember the last time that's actually happened. I'm trying to think back through the Rolodex of history and memory, and I think my dad's truck once. I think it blew a head gasket once a long time ago. Shoot, we might have even owned this truck at that time. I can't remember, but me personally, I have not had a vehicle break down. I haven't even had a flat tire on a trailer in I don't even know how long, but it's bound to happen. And I am now, luckily, I got the day off today. I'm now on my way up to Stafford in my brother's truck. I just put a whole bunch of money in the gas tank, or fuel tank, and I'm about to go burn it off, ripping my trailer out of that parking lot and bringing it home. And unfortunately, I guarantee you, I will be sitting there for a long time. Hopefully not. I'm trying to be positive. Waiting for AAA to show up to tell me that they don't have a truck big enough to bring mine home. So we'll have to figure that out, but I want at least my truck, car, trailer, equipment, tools, everything home yesterday. Well, that wasn't long. Couple days, we're already back. Oh well, at least it's beautiful today. Not like it was Sunday. Oh well. Okay, well, we're out here. I got AAA coming for the truck. We're gonna start unhooking everything. At least try to get this thing dragged out of the way, maybe. Maybe I can get the other truck hooked up without this thing being there, and I don't have to wait for the tow vehicle to drag it out of the way. I might have a come along or a strap or something in the other truck where I might be able to do that. We'll see, but at least it's a lovely day. And I'm exhausted from anxiously not sleeping from this thing not being home. So let's go throw this thing together and get it out of here. So yeah, we got her moved around. I'm trying to figure out my brother's wiring harness and just do some routine maintenance because the right side tail light wasn't working. I got it working again, but she's still kind of, you got to wiggle the plug in order to get it to work. Got the owner of the facility, Mark. He's over there playing with the backhoe, doing some maintenance. Got some other stuff going on. Nice, beautiful day here, but you know, waiting sucks either way, but at least I can do something. And if I get really bored, I can still fire up the generator, hook my phone up to the charger, and watch some TV. That's a nice thing to have. I've been scraping the inside of his connector on the truck because it's a factory connector and it's actually a little bit corroded looking. I'm gonna go back for attempt number 6 to see if the right side tail lights work. Running lights work. Pretty sure the brakes work. Not sure. I'm going to be taking back roads home anyway. So, let's see. Disappointment or... Holy crap, it works. Now how am I going to spend the last hour of me waiting? Oh, sweet salvation. At least it was open. So I was picking up trash on my way back through here, and I came across this guy. Completely unused, unlit cigar. I don't smoke, but boy, somebody's gonna be missing that thing, huh? All right, 4 hours of waiting, check-in, and I have nothing better to do than to walk back and forth between the truck and the porta potty. Luckily, I have some really good friends and sponsors who have offered their help, but then right as AAA told me to pound sand, you can't find a truck big enough, then they call me as soon as I reach out to somebody else and tell me, hey, we got a hold of somebody, they'll be there in 45 minutes. I'm like, are you sure this time? Are you really sure? Well, we'll see. If they're not here and I don't get any word from them, I'm leaving. And I'll just come back for the truck some other time because I want my stuff home and I don't want to inconvenience my friends and people who help me out. So there's your 4-hour waiting update. Hour number 5 waiting. Still nothing. Got to make more phone calls again. They say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but apparently not. Apparently the squeaky wheel is just annoying and they think it'll just go away eventually. Not sure what I pay for when I have my AAA, but maybe that's a public service for you guys. Maybe you don't have to waste your money. Maybe just have a friend with a trailer come and get you because it ain't worth it. Apparently this is a vortex of time on this property for me lately. Spent a collective 24 hours here in 2 days just sitting around. Don't know why. Bathroom break number 3 though. Alright, now we're getting her home. Hopefully it will be another hour or so. Alright, let's get out of here. Hopefully I can get all this crap home. Well, I finally made it back home somehow. About 10 hours after I left this morning to go get the truck and trailer. My truck beat me home, and there's a good reason for that. Because I got into an accident on the way home. Straps holding the hood down. That was from a tree, so that's not from me. So the rest of this probably is. Came over the top of a blind hill on the way on the back roads home, and apparently traffic in that one little area was backed up a quarter mile, and the last car was right over the top of that blind hill, and I got in the brakes and flat spotted the brand new tires that my brother put on, and almost missed it and got into somebody. So that delayed me by quite a bit. I didn't get a ticket though, which is nice, except I just screwed up my family truck. The rest of it's fine though. Ran fine on the way home. Trailer's fine. I might have kinked the hitch a little bit, but it's not too bad. I gotta go and unload this thing. We'll see what fell over or got damaged inside the trailer, but I gotta go clean the garage out. There's all sorts of these flower petals and garbage and debris and parts and tools and everything else that got left out because, well, we kind of left in a rush. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, make a hole for my toolbox so that we can get back to work on the car. It's just nice to finally be home. And I spilled ice cold lemonade on myself as I walked into my garage. So that's terrific too. Yeah, I told y'all I was gonna knock the new offer. See, it protected the wrap pretty good. It's just, you know, needs to be fixed. That's all. I got to get it in the air, get the tires a little bit off this dirty ground, and hopefully keep them clean. Big old hole in the front end here. Big hole. I'll just reach in there, put some aluminum behind it, and rivet it as flat to the edge as possible, and hopefully it'll regain a little shape. Heat gun will help too, but it's stretched out. I don't think there's anything on the left side at all from the first race except for... This is going to be a fun game to play. How much rubber do I pull out of the race car? Because I can guarantee you it's probably a few softball-sized pieces. Yeah, nobody really got to my inside too much here. Well, that's just rubber. You know, a little bit of bumper here, but I don't even know where that came from, to be fair. I'm trying to think about it. Oh, Brandon got me once. Yeah, he owed me that. But yeah, she don't look too bad. I'll have to get her cleaned up. I bent her up a little bit, hitting the wall here. I'll just pull her back out. But none of this is really a problem. But that's short track racing, isn't it? I mean, when you start in the back, or at least in the middle in my case, you have to be aggressive in order to get to the front because it's a short race. Whoever gets to the front first is usually the one who controls it. And, oh, allergies. And, well, you're going to ruffle a few feathers when you get there. And I just want to put this out there. I know a lot of my competitors watch my videos, and they just got to kind of understand that whatever I do on the racetrack is not personal. It's not. There's a car in front of me. They might have left a hole. I'm taking that hole. That's it. You know, or I got to go. I want to win. I might get you in the left rear a little bit. But it's like, I'm not going to punt you. I'm not going to, you know, run you out unless you really, really piss me off. But, you know, I try to race as fair as I can, and I take what I give. And it is what it is. You know, this car is meant to be raced, and we're sure racing it. So, noticed a big issue with the carburetor, though. I really want to put this thing on scales first before I start digging into it by putting it on jack stands just to kind of undo what we did and see what happened. But at this point, I'm like, wow, this carburetor is idling high even when we have it just cold and just idling. So I'm kind of wondering if the gasket might have blown out in the carburetor and we got a vacuum leak. The temperatures were actually just fine. I did notice it was a little down on power, like it might have been leaning out a little bit. So I'm going to have to go investigate that. So we'll put that up on the board, put some body work up on the board. I did not see a single leak underneath this car, which is really awesome. We're going to pack wheel bearings. We're going to inspect everything. We're going to pull the front end apart, adjust ride heights again. We're going to just go through the whole damn thing. So there's a lot of work to do in this off week. All right, we got the hood off. Moment of truth. Let's see how much rubber's in here. Oh my God. I swear we left and came back with more rubber on our tires than when we took off. Look at it all. Sweet gravy Moses. I gained weight. It's probably all right side weight too, because look at it. This is a handful I just pulled off of the end of the frame rail. I don't think that's the best place for that. I don't know what rubber they had on that racetrack, but... Oh. Another one. My God, it's in here too. All right, I got to shut the camera off so that I can actually get after this because there's probably rubber in places that are not good. This is about as far as I got tonight. I'm over it, you know. Sitting out, waiting 6 hours for a tow truck in a parking lot all day. Then finally getting one, taking off and getting in an accident on the way home with the race car trailer attached. just made my day. But what made my day even better was this, actually. It was kind of a highlight here. This is the rubber I pulled off the car so far, and it's not even all of it. That is about a quarter full, 5-gallon bucket. See, look, I can pick through it. Look at, there's the bottom. That's how much rubber I've taken out of this car so far. That's gonna fall over. I've never needed a 5-gallon bucket in order to clean the rubber out of my car before. That's a first. And I haven't even touched the interior, and I haven't even gone down the right side door yet because that bar is completely caked. But I'm over it. I'm going to go inside and just kind of do what I can to relax because I haven't been able to do that in a while. At least my equipment's home. It might be broken. It might be crashed. It might be damaged. It might be everything in between, but it's here now, and I don't have to worry about it being somewhere else. At least it's under my control and my security cameras. So there's that. I think I'll just pick this back up tomorrow because I've had it. It's the next day. It's actually kind of late in the next day, I'll be honest with you, but I got tomorrow off. So if I'm out here a little bit, so be it. It's late because, well, it's only Wednesday, and after the last few days of my truck breaking down and being at the track for 15 hours and waiting 6 hours for AAA and then getting into an accident on the way home, and I needed a moment. I needed a moment away. So I spent the afternoon with the family. We went for a walk. We enjoyed the nice warm 70-degree weather and sunshine, and it was lovely. I walked to the local farm stand. I bought a steak literally the size of my face, grilled it on the back porch, and enjoyed every last bit of it so that I could have at least a nice quiet moment to reflect. Now I'm back out here. Okay, I'm full of red meat and I'm ready to go. We are going to take the car, roll it on the scales, get numbers. I'm going to fill it back up with fuel so that I know what it was when it went out. I know how much fuel we put in it. We're going to put the air pressures back to where they were at the start of the race. Might have to text my brother to remember what those were because I don't think I wrote them down. And then reverse engineer everything. Figure out what we did to make the changes we did, compare them with the notes that I have written down from when we left the garage to go to the racetrack, and basically just get all this data put into one place. That's what I need in order for this thing to be competitive, is I need notes that are clear, concise. I write down everything. I write down what the car did with whatever adjustment we made. Note-taking is incredibly important, and data collection is as well. And as soon as I pick all the rubber out of the car and weigh that and see how much there actually was in there, I will get to putting this thing back on scales. All I have to do is put the pads out and go get the fuel, and we'll be ready to go. So data collection starts now. Surprising results. Clearly I can't tell you what they are, but they have surprised me quite a bit, considering how similar they are to when we left. So I'm going to put this thing back up in the air. I got to at least try to protect the tires and keep them off the floor and keep them, I don't know, round. And I got a lot of things that we have to get through, at least on the checklist. And that's just the start. So, okay, back in the air we go. Boy, the time goes by fast out here. I'm already pretty much done for the night. And all I did was get it on jack stands and check the tire circumference, which was a battle in itself. I had to carve it out because look at how much buildup we gathered by just coming off the racetrack. I mean, holy cow. I think I parked on one of the plugs in my in my trailer. Yep, that was a plug. And there's the cord. That's kind of funny. Anyway, look at all the stuff on here. I mean, this is a massive amount of buildup. Holy cow. Anyway, I managed to get all the tires done and get everything sized up. And I got a system for all of that, maybe. I'm trying to develop one, so just kind of bear with me here. So I am incredibly grateful that we have an extra week off, because it would have been an absolute grind to try to get this thing ready in 1 week, especially when I got it back a couple days later. And I mean, we ran on Sunday, so the turnaround in 5 days would be really difficult for everybody, or less than 5 days, I guess. But yeah, that would suck. So I've got a lot of routine maintenance items to perform on this thing, but I can't do like anything on this car tomorrow because I allotted tomorrow to get the transmission out of the truck, because I kind of need that. And I still feel bad about the accident that I just had with my mother's truck, and I'm trying to mend that thing and make sure everything's cool there and everything works properly and everything's replaced as it should be. And get my truck ready, because I'm going to need it for the season. You know, I can't just be borrowing trucks, and I can't use the F-250 because I don't know the frame situation in that thing. It could be rotted out. The hitch certainly is, and the shock isn't on the right rear anymore and other stuff. So it might be available as a backup, but I don't want to trust that. I'd rather use my regular truck and just leave it at that. So if I ruin my own equipment, I ruin my own equipment, but when I get to ruining other people's stuff because of silly incidents that shouldn't have happened, that makes me feel bad. So I'm going to get that ready and get out of here, because I've been talking enough. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. As I'm leaving, I remembered I put the hot rubber shavings in this catch-all bucket that I showed you earlier. I do not trust it. I'm putting it outside because I don't want this to just kind of spontaneously combust for no reason, even though I didn't use an open flame or anything. I don't trust anything. I don't leave batteries in my chargers, and I don't leave hot rubber in the shop. So I think I'll just lock up and leave that thing outside. All right, next morning, and I unfortunately have to bite the bullet because my truck needs to come apart. I got to put the race car on hold. There's a lot to do here, but if I can't get to the track, that's kind of an issue. So for the third time now, I have to go tear the transmission out of that truck. Luckily, I was semi-smart and bought a two-wheel drive because I didn't want to drive it in the wintertime and ruin it. And I've had the truck for like, let's see, 2025 to the 14 years. And it's still hauling the race car trailer just fine, except for when the transmission pump dies. I believe it's the original one. I should have put it together, or I should have replaced it when I rebuilt the transmission the last time. The second time I had the transmission out was because I goofed up and got the shift rod stuck in the park pawl or something in the back of the transmission. So I goofed up because I was trying to change a servo that I forgot to change. Every time I have to take the transmission out of my truck, it's because I didn't replace something that I should have replaced when I had the transmission out of the truck when I rebuilt it. I should have put a new pump in it. I should have replaced every single servo. I should have replaced every single sensor. I should have just when I had it out, but guess what? I didn't. So now I have to take it apart 14 times, which is why mechanics replace everything when they're under it one time. So, you live and learn. I actually, no, I just live, I don't learn. So I'm going to grab a box of tools, every jack and jack stands known to man, go out there and just start ripping the thing out. And this is going to be disgusting. Update number 1. If I was going to put on time lapse for the entire day, I'd be here the whole time. Just you'd watch nothing but me rolling around on the ground and learn nothing. And apparently that pan is not in the right spot because it's dripping on my cardboard. Perfect. I was hoping to be done by now, which was a fool's guess because I thought, oh yeah, you know, I'm starting at like 9 in the morning. I'll be done by noon, hopefully. Nope, the only thing I've accomplished was getting the drive shaft out, unplugging things, taking off the cooler lines off the transmission itself, and that's it. But now, hopefully, this thing will stop dripping soon, and I can actually get to work, or I'll just work through it and be disgusting because I can't stand this anymore. So the goal for today is just get this thing out of here. As long as I can get it out and into a place where I can work on it, that's job 1. I don't want to do this anymore. This sucks. Both of my legs have cramps. I got a sliver in my finger from the bell housing. I don't know why. It's out. Can I go home now? Medic. So I'm only 3 hours past my estimate, which isn't too bad. Torque converter I drained into a bucket upside down because I'm thinking I had the wrong fluid in it the whole time. I don't know, I made the mistake of trusting people on Dodge forums, and that's probably the dumbest thing I could have ever done was go on a forum, but hopefully all the clutches inside are okay because I really didn't have a lot on this thing, and I didn't rebuild it that long ago, and it never slipped or anything. It just felt like it was decreasing line pressure over a period of time. I did notice some fluid leaking out of the front cover, like through the inspection cover here. I don't know if it's a bad gasket here or seal, I did put that in when I rebuilt it. I put a new gasket here as well, around the pump cover. So I don't really know. I'm gonna take it somewhere and probably pull the pan off of it, clean it out, make sure everything's torqued to spec. Then when I get the pump in, we'll pull the pump off. Maybe I'll pull the clutch packs out, take a look at them, make sure they're not heat checked or bald or ruined or anything, and then we'll probably just clean her up, shove the pump back in it, shove it all back together, throw the correct fluid in it, and hopefully it'll be okay. Like I said, I kind of just put the same fluid in the whole time, which was just universal ATF, and I probably should have been running +4 because of the specific friction modifiers that it probably needed. And I hope I didn't damage anything horribly bad, but this is where we are. All right, I tossed the transmission in the trailer because it's way too heavy for me to try to get by the race car and put it on the bench. So I'm like, if I got to work on it, I'll just work on it on the cart. That way, at least I don't have to lift it or move it or do anything to it. So I've transitioned over to the car here, and allergies are kicking in yet again. But I have a high idle issue with the carburetor. So what I'm going to do now is probably pull that off, make sure there's nothing jammed in there, probably pull the bowl and the meter and block off, clean it out just to be safe, and check the transfer slots in it, make sure there's no torn gaskets or, you know, just random stuff. But it's weird because I I've tuned carburetors plenty of times and set the idle mixtures and set the idle itself and never really had an issue. But I've backed the idle screw all the way off on this thing. Still 2,000 RPM. So it's like, all right, well, I guess we'll figure it out. I'm baffled, but maybe we'll learn something. See by the haze in the air, she's fat and happy now. I actually did find a few things out and cleaned a bunch of it up, and I cleaned it out and put some new gaskets in her. A lot happier with how it runs now. So carburetor, let's put the air cleaner back on it. That's checked off the list. Boy, she's rich, I guess. Well, I don't know, runs just fine, so whatever. I'll just go with it, but yeah, she's good to go. I checked the timing just to see if that had gotten stuck, like up or something, and it was completely normal. It was exactly what I set it to. But, you know, played with the linkage, played with the carburetor gaskets. I put a new base plate gasket on it, cleaned the carburetor out. She's good to go. Oh, you can really see it now. I should put a fan on or get outside. There ain't no brain cells left to ruin. But I also, I found the power valve gasket wherever, you know, some people run one, some people don't, but the gasket there I found was split in half, and I was wondering if it was pulling vacuum through that, so I replaced that. Where am I going? I should go outside. Replaced a whole bunch of stuff, and I got a bunch of new gaskets coming from Amazon that were from All Star or something. It's good to have as many gaskets as possible because you need them, trust me, especially when you're touching stuff. All right, it's been quite a long day. I'm pretty well over it at this point. I've got parts coming for the transmission tomorrow, and I got to go to work then too. And we've got another week to get this thing ready, and getting that carburetor issue fixed is a big deal. Then we got to jump into a couple other minor things like body stuff, which shouldn't be too difficult. I got a shock issue in the left rear where the alignment's not quite perfect, so I might have to play with that, put a shim in it or something just so that the bushing doesn't keep walking off, which is not good. Right rear's fine, left rear's not. Then we just got to do setup and ride heights and stuff. And like I said, if we were really rushing to get this thing done to go tomorrow, then I'd be in here all night tonight. But since I don't have to be, and since this week's kind of been a little difficult, I think I'm going to go inside and just relax for once, you know. It's nice. It's nice to be able to do that once in a while. I got to get the truck done as well, but the new pump will be in tomorrow. And God forbid that thing doesn't work, because I will be the most angry man on the face of the earth if I have to take that transmission back out. So hopefully it works and I don't find any issues, but that's a problem for another day. I think I'm going to go inside and hang out with the family for a little bit, because this season I'm probably not going to be able to do that a lot, because I'll probably be out here a lot. But I'll see you tomorrow. It is the next day. Got a little exercise in, thankfully. I've been combating the carpenter bees, and before you start telling me, oh, they're pollinators, I never seen one on a flower. I've only ever seen them eating my house, so can it. Otherwise, I have to actually get this transmission in the truck. I thought it was going to rain today, and it did this morning before I went to work. Currently, it is lightly cloudy, but I didn't expect it to be a clear day. So plans have changed. I'm not working on the car. I got to get this done. And my pump did show up. I just don't know what kind of other gaskets I have. The pan gasket's junk. I thought I had a secondary one that was a rubber one. I thought I'd used it, but it didn't really work too great. And so I put a cork one in, and that one leaked anyway, so it didn't really matter. And I'm just kind of looking around, and if I don't find it, well, I guess RTV is going to work, because it always does if you use enough of it. either way, that's the plan right now. I'm pulling the pump out. I'm going to flip it over and look inside and make sure that the valve body's torqued and there's nothing cracked, broken, missing, falling out. Readjust the bands, put the new pump in to torque spec, fill up, probably gonna have to take a trip to empty every local, probably gonna have to take a trip to every local part store and empty them out of ATF plus 4 because this thing tends to take a lot of fluid. Apparently like between 16 and 17 quarts dry, and I emptied out the torque converter. So let's see if they all have them. I'm going to be going everywhere to find it. So fingers crossed on that, but we got to get this thing torn apart and put back together and hopefully find some damage because I hope this is the right thing. In, I got the bands adjusted, I got the gasket. I actually did have one. I had a rubber gasket in there. It was a little bit exposed for a while, so one corner was a little bit cracked and ugly, so I just slapped RTV on it and sent it back in there, and hopefully that'll seal. It's rubber, so maybe a little bit of RT, or not RTV, but ATF will rejuvenate it a little bit. I also got that, which is 17 quarts of ATF plus 4, which is Chrysler products. I spent way too much money on it, but considering the fact that Napa supports local short track racing, no free ads, but you know, they're kind of a contingency sponsor of my vehicle. And that's literally the, huh? I couldn't catch the ice cream truck. Anyway, I'm going to go throw some fluid in this thing. It's getting on close to 5 o'clock, but you know what? This thing needs to be done. I need to know whether or not that pump was actually the problem or not, and I'm going to just keep working until I'm done or we actually get it going again. And this is really, really going to suck because I have to work out in the yard because my truck is too big to fit in the garage. And I wish it wasn't because I would actually, wow, it's humid out too, apparently, because I would actually have this thing in here. The race car could just go in the trailer momentarily, but how am I going to move it? So, yeah, so I got to go sweep out the rocks from under there, come up with a plan for a jack to make it not, I don't know, fall off again. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get this thing in. But it is not going to be fun. And that's one thing I can guarantee you. It's also going to be a horrific struggle. And I don't know how much I'm going to film or send to time-lapse because it's just going to be a lot of me floundering and flopping around on the ground. So I think we're just going to do it. And I'll show you the results maybe when we get done. It's like 9 o'clock at night, maybe 9:30. I haven't eaten. I don't need to. Clearly. Transmission's back in the truck, and there's no leaks. Can't really tell if it moves properly, though. Put it in reverse, and it worked. It went in reverse. Put it in drive. I had wheel chocks, though. I had big wheel chocks on it. Put it in drive, and it didn't want to drive over those. So wondering if something happened inside that transmission that I probably should have redone. But you live and you learn. If I put, $3-4 grand into swapping a transmission now, I'd basically be rebuying that truck at this point. So that's hardship we don't really need or can afford at this moment. So we're going to start weighing options really quick because this could ruin my season if I don't figure it out pretty quick. Okay, I'll figure it out tomorrow, though. It's the next day, and I didn't get a chance to at least try moving my truck. So I think what I'm gonna do is just real time this thing, and when I get disappointed at the results, you'll actually see that. So I'm gonna go move this rake that I left here and see if we can start it up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I knew it would run. That's not a real issue. Huh. Usually it takes a second for the voltage to come up, but all right, let's see if reverse. That is a bad noise. But it moves. That's a real bad noise. I bet you I know what that is. I bet you that's the fans making contact with the drum in the transmission. That's just not good. All right, well, that's good. I didn't have that before. I did have this thing running last night, but my other car was boxing it in, and my wife's car was boxing that in, so I couldn't get it out. Remember, when I left, or tried to leave the track the other night, I had nothing. All right. Oh. Feels like it went into drive. Holy crap, it moves. Dude, it moves. All right, let's go take it down the road real quick. And at least if it breaks down, I got my plow truck over there that I could go take it out with. It's moving. It's not moving. That's as far as it moved. Now I'm getting an inadvertent exercise to get the Ford. Well, this is a development, I guess. The plow truck is now pulling home my tow truck. And no, I don't think the plow truck would make for a good backup truck. Even though I am pulling that. So I think I got to arrange to get into a transmission shop because, well, I don't have the knowledge or expertise to fix it. By the way, my brother's in that truck, so I'm not just ghost riding the thing home. At least the AC works in this thing. Maybe if I fixed it up, it would be a good tow vehicle. Probably not. Dang it. So it's back in the driveway, I guess. So I'm going to call the transmission shop and see if I can either get AAA to tow it there, which if it's home, I guess the infinite wait time is probably worth it. Or maybe they have their own towing service and maybe it won't cost too much, but doubtful. So I might as well just get some work done on the car because there's plenty to be done. And if I can't fix the truck, I'm going to have to send it out. And luckily, while my brother was here, he said, hey, by the way, you know, the truck you crashed still runs and drives if you need to use it. And I said, well, I appreciate it because it's the only way I'm going to make it to the track and fulfill sponsor obligations and other stuff. And to be fair, my family treats me far better than I treat them sometimes. And it's probably going to be the reason why they get into heaven, and I don't. I'll be stuck here forever. So I'm still kind of cleaning up. I guess my transmission didn't need that pump after all, but I paid for it, so now it's in there. And the people who end up fixing and rebuilding my transmission will probably appreciate it because that'll be one less thing they got to do, I guess, if I can look at it the bright side. So I'm in cleanup mode. I'll have to probably wrap up the old pump and put it on a shelf somewhere and get back to work on the car because thankfully they've given me their blessing to hopefully not damage their truck anymore, but at least get to the racetrack. So we got to get ready to get there. one final time for the day, but as the daylight starts to wane. Got the wheel bearings done. I even took the time to take those hubs and throw them in the parts washer and get rid of all of the residual grime and grit and grease and whatever else could be piled up on those things, because working on dirty parts kind of stinks. And over time, they get pretty gross, especially with all the brake dust and grease that might seep out the seal. So clean stuff is always nice, but you know what? I think for today, that's gonna have to be it. I am exhausted though, and after the week that I've had, I think you guys can understand. I mean, what a week, you know? It's like we went racing and took all day Sunday in our last video, and then the truck breaks down, and then I have to try to retrieve it, and then I get into an accident, and then I spent countless hours that I didn't film because it would have just been me flopping around on the ground like I mentioned before. And you guys probably don't want to watch that. It's just, it's so boring. But I spent 2 days underneath that truck trying to get it done and ready. And man, what an absolute fight, and absolutely nothing changed. That sucks, but you know what? It's gonna cost me a little bit of money, but if I send it to a competent professional, which is what I plan on doing, then maybe I'll have my truck back and it'll work properly. I'm not an automatic transmission guru. I can't figure this stuff out. I can throw some clutch packs and a new torque converter at it and gaskets and stuff, but I can't like diagnose issues, especially without tools. But anyway, we got a lot of repair work and potential that we might have left on the table in this car. I'd say might, but we know that this car, if I had to put a rough estimate on the last race of what percentage we had in this car, I'd say it's about 75%. That was being generous, I think, but we left a lot of that 100% that we probably should have on the table, and we know what to do to fix it. We're not even going to go crazy with changes. We're not going to do that this year. We're just going to kind of stick with what we got because it seems to work and not try to reinvent the wheel here. We're just going to get it right, massage it a little bit, and just kind of ride the wave if we can. So we got a lot of hope for the future. We're going racing this week. As of release date for this video, we'll be going this Friday, and full season's going to start. And it's going to be a little tough without a truck and stuff like that, but I got to thank my family for that, and we'll hopefully be back up and running at 100% here very quickly. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, it is free. It's a click of the button, and it helps me with YouTube's weird algorithm. Also, sharing me on social media. If you could take and just hit the share button and just put the video somewhere where you think people would like it, man, that helps out a lot, especially with Google and how they have their algorithm set up to try to like spread me out to other people. That sounded terrible, but anyway, we'll gloss over that. So we'll get this thing done and we'll get back on track next week. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it.